Hopefully that worked. I'm just going to add, as I'm on our streaming platform, just like I hate this about tech places where I feel like they make changes just for the sake of making changes.
Yeah.
And so like our loading to go live was totally different today. So I'm like, I hope it worked. But
well, we'll know when it doesn't post at the very end and we need it or something like that. Let us know. Is there people in the chat room? Let us know where you're joining from. It's Astrology and Alchemy with Paranormal Sarah and Matthew Slosier. I thank you so much for joining us. Do you have a pen and paper or a coffee? Do you have anything with you, Matt?
No, because then I'd be looking down and not looking at all your lovely smiling faces on the other side of the computer screen.
That's my face. And all of your faces. Pepper, Samantha, Dolly, Paranormal, Autumn, everybody. And let us know where you're joining from. I know we've got some friends from Australia. We've got people on the West Coast. We got people on the East Coast. We got people all over. All over. I've been very sing-songy today. We're moving into Sagittarius. I've missed our shows. I've missed being on that routine of using the astrology because, man, have our predictions been freaky. Freaky. How do you feel about some of the predictions?
We're like only 8 days left for the end of the year. And even though we had a close call, no war. So I feel good about that.
You don't think we're in it? You don't think we're at war yet? You don't think it's happening? You don't think?
Not really. I mean, we might be. Yeah, I don't.
Okay, it's questionable. It's debatable.
I was just on a long. It's so funny because as much as I am like, I have this Libra and I have this like dialogue and work with and negotiate. I have a very different attitude when it comes to our foreign policy and being the 800-pound gorilla. And if you decide that you're going to publicly be like, we're your enemy and we're going to oppose you, I'm just like, we don't need to talk to you. We can just crush it.
You know me.
I'm
crazy.
I'm all for talking and negotiating domestically. I do not share that internationally. I'm a Teddy Roosevelt. I really am a Teddy. Outside of he had some racist stuff that I don't subscribe to, but outside of that, I'm pretty much right down the road of Teddy Roosevelt, Republican. That would be which I don't think would count as a Republican anymore, but.
You know, it's just that, yeah. That's a whole show. That's a lifetime special. Mm-hmm. That is for real. And for those of you mentioning in the chat,
I didn't forget what you said that got me on that train of thought, but
I can't even remember either. The No Man's Land, you know, I was banned from social media for spamming the need for my dad to have a kidney, still looking for that O positive kidney. Since I post that every day, that's what they banned. Whatever. So, you know, I'm always like, why do I even try? So, but anyway, yeah, you can join us on any platform. You can be joining us from the Paranormal channel on YouTube. You could be joining us from Facebook. You could be joining us from an Instagram live even, or a Twitter. There's all sorts of little streams coming in. We operate on StreamYard.
A lot of folks on right now too. This is awesome. So hello.
Everybody. Yeah. A great show. And I know that I've shared it with a bunch of different random people and shows that we're going to be collaborating with throughout the new year. And I'm excited for us to grow. We're trying, guys. We're all fighting our little health issues and our jobs and our lives and the snow. And that's just me. I don't know about you, Matt.
No. I had issues all summer and I have my last like big test tomorrow. So we'll see. If that comes back negative, then it means I got nothing weird going on. So that's all good.
Nothing weird. Yeah. And, you know, I feel like sometimes I'm a hypochondriac about some of those when I actually start, because it takes a lot to get me to the doctor. But once I finally go, I'm like, now that I'm here, I'm dying. I'm pretty much dead. Like everything becomes bad. And I start really telling the whole story. And I'm like, where do we start? That had a car accident here, had this here. But anyway, I know. We're just kind of chatting.
I am now on, and it's not COVID, it's not flu. I am now on day 16 of this respiratory thing that will not go away.
The thing.
Yeah, the crud. That
The
I know
crud.
people have the crud too, but yeah, I've been on like medicine for it. It's not doing shit. It's just 60 days of the same crap.
It's
the balloons. Somebody asked about the balloons. I got asked about the balloons on Sunday too. I can only semi say this because I guess I'm technically not supposed to know yet, but we have like big like awards at work, and I won like a really big award, and so I leaked it to my family, and my dear daughter brought a bunch of balloons back and decorated.
Congratulations!
So yeah,
congratulations. We thought you were trying to lure us into the sewer or something, Matt.
Yeah, some people were asking if like wishing me happy birthday. I'm like, yeah, that's actually getting kind of close, but not real close yet. And I'm at the age now where I don't look forward to birthdays. But
and then someone's asking, is the light behind you flashing, or is that just the string of the balloon?
I've redone my whole office. So you see, like I moved my.
Is it a torch light?
It's a torch light. I got torch.
Okay.
It's much darker in here now, but now I have
like
my office. Someday I'll have to do like a tour with the camera in here, but it's all very. I got gargoyles. I got gargoyles up there, and all kinds of haunted house stuff all over. And now it's got torch lights. So now it's dark and torchy, and so
it's very spooky.
I just sit in here and brood.
Yeah.
Write poetry and cry about my life.
And do the Poe thing, nevermore. Yeah, I don't want, and again, be gone. I don't want any of that crud because I've been around it. I've seen it. I've got a lot of my clients, thank God for Zoom, that I am just like, just Zoom. Just let's not come into the office if you got any of that. But I also have children, which, you know what those are. They're just little germ machines. And so that was like the first thing it's cold. It's like 22 degrees here. So I kind of feel like the long driveway, it's slightly torturous. You know, they got to speed up or their skin freezes. But part of me is like, it's killing the germs. It's killing the germs, right? Say right. Yep. Everybody in the chat. Lie to me.
We're in a weird, I don't know if it's, see, I don't know what it's like in Minnesota for this time. We're in this weird time of year now where it will be, it really sucks for dressing for the day. It'll be like 26 when I wake up in the morning, and then it'll be like 62 by like early afternoon. So if you bundle up when you leave, you're gonna like roast when you come home, or vice versa.
It's just cold. It's just,
I don't know. Minnesota's
cold. It's horrible.
I don't even believe I've been there in the summer. I don't even believe it now. It gets hot here. I've been there in the summer.
It's horrible. I question why I live in Minnesota from now until June. Like, for real. There was a guy in a fish house where one side of the lake, the east lake, is still got water. It's still water there. The west side, just 5 feet lower, so it's just ever so slightly with the wind and the way the cold is. It is slightly frozen, I guess, enough. People putting their ice houses out there. Let's just walk out on the water. Just dumb. It gives me such anxiety to watch it. I was
told, I know we're just rambling here, but I was told, because my company's based out of Minnesota, so I travel there a lot. I know a lot of Minnesota, and they're always like, you got to embrace the winter. I'm like, if I ever had to move there, I'd probably go indoors in October and not resurface again until May.
The machines don't even embrace it.
I don't do any winter sports, any winter activities. If it gets cold, if I have to put a coat on, I don't even like wearing long sleeve shirts.
Nobody talks to you. I mean, I guess that's nice. It's just quiet. It's just dead quiet. Just
Minnesota nice. They don't talk to you.
Right. That's because there's nobody's talking to anybody. It's too cold. They're just starting. But anyway, that's what's happening up here and down there and over there and wherever you guys are at. And again, please let us know in the chat room and share with a friend. We always like to grow and share our audience, whether you're from the Odyssey Radio or Paranormal Channel or Autumn Moon Astrology or a Paranormal Sarah fan. It really doesn't matter. We want you to join us. We want you to bring a friend, and we want you to definitely get a pen and paper or pencil if you're not into commitment for predictions, because like we had just mentioned, we started eventually, I think somewhere back there mentioning that our predictions freaky real freaky.
I try to do notes while still maintaining eye contact. I don't know
get that going. Do that or not. Get these notes a going.
We'll see
because I've got my notes going, kind of. Not really. Today, only one thing was happening, but it was kind of the beginning of something important. For those of you who know, you know. it was the beginning of Sagittarius season. And so that's kind of a big deal, right? Yeah, it's kind of a big deal, guys. So the sun entered Sagittarius and Scorpio season. We're saying bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Thank God. How did Scorpio season treat you guys? Was it good?
So I gotta say, like, you make comments like that, but you won't get any hate over you hate Scorpios, and I get it. I call them intense, and people say I hate them.
And you're a hater. You're a Scorpio hater.
Excuse me, as I have my RSV cough.
I have positive and negative to say. Well, 3 things are happening tomorrow, Wednesday, the 23rd. And so, pardon mon français, because I'm going to be posting them as I go, as well as this very impromptu today, because it's all crashing down. It's all crashing down around me. But of the 3 things happening, put those 3 dots down. Okay? Here we go. First thing, go to the dollar store, get your candles, get out your naked suit, get out your skin suit, because it's a new moon. Ooh, that's why the stars are so beautiful. Oh, I went out earlier and the stars were so beautiful. Yes, they were. And, that's saying something. It's just bright, not necessarily like a meteor shower or anything, but I'm pretty sure you can see all the space trash. And the new moon in Sagittarius. Pardon me, that's my dog. I am a real person. Not a dog, but a person.
Your dog's a Sag fan.
Yeah. No, he's an Aries. Don't let him fool you. And an asshole Aries at that.
Fire sign. Still fire signs.
But when you think of a new moon in Sagittarius, as I mute myself, Matt, what is it that you think of for Sagittarius season? How should we kind of prepare?
You're more the moon person than I am, but I will say that I view it as like the cycle. So the new moon sets the theme for this lunar cycle. And so new moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is all about exploration, trying things, doing things. I would say, like, at a party, the Gemini is the social butterfly going around, talking to everybody. The Sagittarius is the one that's like wanting to bungee jump out the window into the pool and stuff. So it's all about Sagittarius. They're fun. They try things. They're just like willing to do stuff. And so this is very much of a cycle of what are you going to try? What are you going to explore? What are you going to do this month? I'm not a Sag. I don't have any Sag in me, but hopefully I don't get any. I never get hate from fire signs, but I thought I was kind of complimentary to them.
Who's that? What you gonna do?
I like the water signs, but they're all the ones that like shit on me. I guess because they're water signs. I guess a fire sign wouldn't give a shit, even if you said something bad about them.
Yeah, they're just emotional. They can't help it. And we love them. We love them for that. The new moon, I think of a moon phase in me as far as, if it's new beginnings. Well, it's a space where you go out, and I'm always thinking of the animals. There's not a lot of light out, so kind of feel like a little mole poking around where you're not really able to see much. And so there's not a huge moon shining down. There's not these huge tidal waves or pulls. It's more of a passive energy. It's more of kind of a nestling in and finding new ways to explore by listening to the quiet. And, I always think of winter. This is that hunter that you've got snow covering now. When I watch Alone or one of those crazy shows on whatever channel that is, TLC or whatever it is, it always seems like it would be easier to hunt in the snow because you see their tracks and you follow them to their little hole. And it's a completely new experience. Like you're not able to pick berries off the vine, but you can see where everything has been for a certain period. Like it's got a little lag, a little latency stream. And
they can see you and they can hear you easier than too. Just think of how quiet everything is in the winter. So
that's true.
It's easier to see them, but easier for them to see you.
And that's so powerful. So I think of mapping. I think of mirror magic. I think of just kind of, being awares of where's you are and knowing that everything is aware of where you are as well. Jupiter goes direct in Pisces as well tomorrow. That makes me nervous. I ain't gonna lie. When I think of Jupiter anytime expansion, luck, craziness. But like you said, and I'll say it, Pisces, any water sign, that's energy, that's emotional, that's drama, that's catharsis. What do you think?
Well, I've said for the longest time that Jupiter was in, like, Jupiter's opportunity. I just heard somebody describe this the other day, and it really made sense that Jupiter makes everything bigger. So, like, if it's whatever planet it's associating with or whatever sign it's associating with, it just like amplifies it. And so I always view like Jupiter in retrograde as whatever that opportunity is. It's like the car pulling up, going, hop in, we're going here. Like, that plan's going to blow up and be a mess. And so now that it's going direct, at least those opportunities are going to work out. Now, Pisces is an interesting one. I know just because your background, you kind of go in a different direction than I do. I just view it as, Pisces very introspective. This is the last sign. It's very kind of selfless, so it's kind of willing to take one for the team here. So I feel like we're shifting from opportunities that don't pan out and kind of blow up to now all of a sudden. And I always look at when there's the shift, because I feel like you usually see a big jump. So I'd look for this tomorrow. Opportunities where somebody will make some kind of sacrifice for the greater good. In this case, it'll be actually a positive one. So
I always get a little nervous.
Attention. If anybody throws himself on their sword or does some kind of sacrificial thing tomorrow for some cause, it'll probably, because of the shift from retrograde to going direct, it will probably have a positive impact.
I don't know if I like that. And then the third movement is just that it's not just a new moon, but that the moon will officially start to wax into Sagittarius. That's just kind of an additional moon waxing into Sagittarius. I'm typing it as we go. And that's, growth. New things.
I think it's the most, if we're talking like tarot or like wands, or Sagittarius is the most action-oriented sign. So go along with that idea, as well as people are going to be, you're going to have that emotional nudge. The moon changes quickly. So this isn't like a huge push, but it's a subtle push, but there's going to be a push for movement and doing things. So I think you're going to see a little more activity tomorrow, which will be interesting, because I always love the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I just think it's kind of a cool day, but this is kind of weird. You have a lot of people off. You have a lot of but I just think in addition to that, just people doing whatever they're doing to get ready for the holidays, I think there's going to be a little extra bump of activity tomorrow.
I like that. A humming doing. I'm interested to see, even though we're going into like holiday, I still fully expect there's going to be something in the news. Like, I think something's can it be bigger or worse or crazier than what this week's news already was? When I think Sagittarius, I just think hunter, I think predator, I think.
All right, I'll go a little farther. Look for a plea deal or something. I'm not even going to say which front it's going to be on, but this Pisces direct in Jupiter, I feel like somebody's going to give themselves up and kind of sell some kind of deal to give. But I mean, that could go in multiple directions. I mean, there's so many investigations, so many things going on right now. And I wonder look for somebody to kind of give themselves up to share information on something. Ooh. And because it'll be right before a holiday, just the timing, it'll be kind of easier to bury because not everybody's people are distracted and traveling. So yeah, pay attention for that. I think that's what's going to happen. Oh, I'm so nervous. I'll try to get buried behind the football and Macy's parade and all that stuff on Thursday. Okay. Only one thing happens on Thursday. On the holiday. I should probably put that on my calendar. Do you have any holiday plans, by the way? Are you someone who... it's one of my favorite holidays, but we've got a lot of things things are very chaotic here right now, but I'm not much of a chef or much of a cook, but I always cook Thanksgiving, so I always enjoy doing that. So I'll be up doing the cooked turkey and doing the stuffing and
I love stuffing. I'm a stuffing girl.
Although I've been holding it over my kids that they've trashed the kitchen, and so I'm like, I will not clean the kitchen mess that you made, and I will not cook if the kitchen's a mess. So we're at a little bit of a standstill right now. As of now, I have a turkey thawing that I have no intent to cook unless.
Well, it occurred to me that, if I go and get a turkey, I better make sure it's not frozen at this point because I would need to be thawing it. If you've got a frozen turkey, now's the time to take it out, put it in the sink, get that water dripping on it because it ain't going to make it. However, you can still cook a frozen turkey. I've cooked a frozen turkey. I did that once. It works.
It takes
you
longer.
Put it in those bags that you buy at Walmart or Target, like the little cooking bags. It'll still happen. Anyway, whatever happens on Thursday, whatever you're doing or eating or cooking or not cooking or eating or cleaning, one thing is going to be happening. The moon waxing in Sagittarius, and it is conjunct Venus in Sagittarius. We are in Sagittarius season for show. So
emotions combining with kind of romance and all in. Just go ahead and do it. Explore. So if it wasn't for a holiday where a lot of things are going to be closed, I would find this a very interesting combo. But this is, there's a lot of emotions will align with kind of the romantic elements, and there'll be a openness to kind of explore and put feelers out. So I think I said this last week when Venus went into Sagittarius, particularly with this one. It's going to be weird that it's on Thanksgiving, but pay extra attention to communications that kind of come out of left field here because people may be sending feelers your way. Pay attention for both reasons. Pay attention that, if you are open to things that, keep an eye open for that. If you're not open for things, don't stumble into getting yourself in trouble by thinking something's innocent that might not be.
Yeah.
You got to play both sides of that, but
You got to. And I think it's important that you share that because there are always, at least two sides, maybe infinity sides, all the little divots around the edge. I've got one of those in the house. Got to be aware.
But it's not going to be, I got to say, so this doesn't mean, this is just keep an eye that this is the general idea. It doesn't mean that every single communication that goes out on Thursday has romantic intent behind it. But just keep this in mind that it could.
Well, then we pan out. And don't forget, put your predictions down. What do you think that means? Most things are going to be closed for the holidays. So do you see something happening? I kind of think that something happens on Friday, the 25th. I find really interesting. And only because it's not a huge deal. I'm going to type it in here. Look at that. Everyone in the chat room, you get a little heads up on that one. Matt, you kind of mentioned the moon waxing. Not a huge deal, right? No, not really. But coming out of Sagittarius, or recent Virgo spaces, and kind of adding some earth to this equation, I think is really important. After the catharsis, the Pisces, the expansion, the holiday, sensuality, and now you have this earth energy. What do you kind of feel for Capricorn on a Friday?
I always feel like, and this is interesting because it's in the emotional space, but I always feel the two most intense signs are Scorpio and Capricorn. But Scorpio is emotional intensity and Capricorn's cold intensity. So it's kind of interesting that it's the emotional moon in the Capricorn space. So I'm just going to say again, this is going to, Capricorn's all about getting crap done and accomplishing things. And so you have that whole exploration space, and now it's going to almost shift onto Friday to, okay, we're going to go after X. We're going to climb that mountain. We're going to go after that brass ring. We're going to, whatever that's going to be, there's going to be a move
towards Christmas tree.
So there may have been a move towards action a couple of days ago. Now it's going to move towards actually like a goal and going after a specific goal. Capricorn's not warm and Moon's emotion, so Moon is kind of warm and fuzzy, but Capricorn's not warm and fuzzy. So emotions in general are going to be very cool. This isn't the time post Thanksgiving to have a heart to heart with somebody.
It's not the time for a heart to heart.
Emotions are going to be in a cold space. You're just going to get just the facts. Just you're not going to get.
I have to put that in there.
I saw a meme today that I laughed. As a Capricorn, I laughed at this, and it had the dark side of each sign. And for Capricorn, it said had the empathy of a concrete wall. So
yes, yeah, and that's. I mean, I don't know. We would have to ask your wife, but I think being a partner to a fellow Earth sign, there's a lot of silence, which I know can make people uncomfortable.
Now, there's a lot of other planets involved, so not to derail this, and I'll say that I have a shitload of Libra, which isn't the same as Cap, so that kind of softens my stuff, and my moon is Taurus, so they're a little more, they're stubborn, but they're a little more empathetic than Capricorn is.
Earth. Still so much Earth energy.
You're all Earth. So you're just all Virgo. I don't have any Virgo. You're like all Virgo. So I'm just the other Earth signs. I'm Libra.
I'm crazy.
So you guys know, she's Earth, fire, and I'm Earth and air. Neither one of us have water, so.
Right. We don't believe any of that emotional bull.
But the water signs all give me crap and give you a pass. Why?
I appreciate it. Okay. So get your prediction pencils out, or pens if you're good with commitment. And remember, what is the universe showing you when you see some of these vibes? When you think a heart to heart, she's as cold as ice. When you start, hearing some of these themes, now we're going to pan out and just one thing happening each day here, which is kind of nice. Wednesday really being the only day that bam, 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 things kind of getting you. But now we have Saturday. That's going to be what? The 26th? Yeah, I think so. And boom, boom, boom. Speaking of boom, boom, boom. Speaking of Earth signs, wayo. Speaking of Earth signs, can't get that song out of your head. The moon in Capricorn, waxing in Capricorn. Okay. Trine, Uranus, and Taurus. Dang. What's going to happen there?
This is an interesting one. This Uranus and Taurus I just find very interesting because Uranus is kind of the out of the box, the rebel, the wild card, the curveball, and Taurus just is entrenched, stable, doesn't like change. So it's kind of like Uranus is all about change, and Taurus doesn't like change. So I always view this as I'm going to rebel by not doing the thing I'm supposed to do. So kind of staying home and not getting up to do the thing that I'm supposed to do. So here in this case, you got this kind of cold, emotional, kind of goal setting, getting synergy with kind of upsetting the or changing things by, I would say, not doing. So how I view this is, let me know in the chat if this makes sense. If you have your new goal that you're going to go after, you're going to view things differently. So you're going to start acting differently, which means in some cases acting in ways that you would not be expected to act. And so that could be not doing some things that you normally do in these situations. So kind of doing the Thanksgiving theme. I'm always the one that cleans everything up. I'm not touching the dish tonight. I'm just going to sit and let my sister do it because my sister never cleans up when we're at mom and dad's. So stuff like that. It's rebelling by not doing.
Doing by not doing. It's so weird. I have to, and I'm trying to think of where was it that I was even watching this, that this would be remotely relevant. I can't remember what I was watching because I don't really watch a lot of TV. So it was something specific. Man, I can't remember, but it was a documentary of some kind. They were talking about the influence of Chris Cross. They were one of the youngest hip hop artists and like influential child influencers of like Western hip hop. The Chris Cross will make you jump. Chris Cross will make you jump. And how they wore their clothes backwards. And then one of the, crisscross, I think it was Chris, or one of them, they're both named Chris. One of them died. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did die. He was young too. It was not so long ago. And the other Chris was like devastated at his funeral, and they were showing some of that footage, and it was really sad because they had kind of gone through some big milestones together. And why that's relevant, I'm sitting here thinking of, this is a Saturday, and you talk about those behavior flip-flops, the change that it can be a complete opposite change that gives you that shift that you need, that for someone to notice something, or that you notice something, because it is so contrastingly different. It's a juxtaposition in itself that you're just like, wow, you maybe would not have noticed it otherwise, that there's going to be like this interesting thing. And for whatever reason, crisscross kind of comes up there. So I have to mention that. So whatever that might be to those joining us in the chat room, or if that's relevant to you somehow, please share. Sunday, November 27th, let's just kind of keep moving and cruising. Man, my coffee's low, so I know we got to keep cruising. Moon. This is another moon movement. Okay, so a lot of moon movements. That's emotion. That's kind of female, feminine, nurturing, home decor, readying the home, doing the nesting. Men do that too. Want to clean, want to prep, want to go get the tree, want to do Chevy Chase things, tie it to the top of the car and go out looking for it. Do you watch that movie? Do you watch it?
I love that movie.
I watched that.
There's so much about that movie I love. When she does the prayer and like sings the Star Spangled Banner and
all of it.
The cat in the tree.
Yeah.
The grandpa on fire. Just like
the standing out in the snow and having your dad put in all that work and like, don't help me, and like nearly falling off the house and like things falling in the gutter and like, oh my God. And you finally go out there and it's one light bulb, one stinking light bulb somewhere, and you gotta check them. Oh my gosh. It was so, I felt that. There's my dog again. I'm sorry.
He loves the movie.
Yeah, he does. It's that movie. And then the Christmas Story. That's talking
cool.
about you, Balder. He ate a chicken recently off the counter, and I thought he was going to die. And I was like, oh my God, he ate a chicken. He's going to choke on the bones. It was like a whole rotisserie, like the whole thing. Just.
I was just telling something. This is a totally sidebar, but I was just sharing this this weekend about how we did it when I lived up in Pennsylvania. We did a Christmas lunch, and coming back from the Christmas lunch, our boss got a flat tire, and so he was changing the flat tire, and one of the lug nuts fell on the ground, and I'm in the back, and I go, "Oh fudge!" But I didn't say fudge. And I had people just turn around and stare at me, having no clue. And I don't think I've ever been more disappointed.
What did you say?
No, it sailed over everybody's head.
Really?
And I was so disappointed. I'm like, that was such a brilliant opportunity. And
isn't that the worst?
Just got weird looks from people going, what the heck's Matt doing?
I quote Anchorman a lot and people don't get it. And my heart sinks. I say things that also sound, mind you, Anchorman, like a whale's vagina, like some of these things that you just randomly say. If you've not seen that movie, you sound crazy. But luckily, I'm already crazy. It's okay. So, okay, whatever day we were on, Sunday, says Steph, Dolly, welcome.
Yeah, we've digressed so much that Stephanie.
Again? That's right. In the depths of despair. Sunday. The moon, all the moon things are happening. That's right. We were talking about all the werewolves and things. The werewolf things are happening, and that the moon is waxing into Aquarius. So
just add again. I think these moon shifts, they're significant, but they're subtle. So I don't see like profound stuff here. I feel this more like an emotional nudge. But now we're going from accomplishment to. Aquarius is really, again, kind of ruled by Uranus, so it's kind of that whole curveball energy. So it's think outside the box, do things differently, innovate, behave a little differently. Like call it kind of the purple mohawk sign. It's just kind of, we're going to march to our own tune kind of thing. And so
purple mohawk.
Yeah, he'll just see people start doing it. It's just, it's a little bit of a nudge towards the unconventional.
I like that. The purple
I also
mohawk.
say too that I think it's the best innovative. Like if I just had to pick based on astrology for like my team, people that like brainstorm stuff, I'd pick like
Aquarius.
Folks. So I would say that for everybody, this will be a little nudge of like innovative energy. So this is the time to like think about things you might want to change about, you know. If you're miserable and want some kind of business idea that'll make you independently wealthy, like this is like the energy that gives you that little tailwind towards that.
Tailwind. That's what I'm going to put in there. Tailwind. Wow, I really misspelled that. What was I even thinking? There was a Y in there. What? Tailwind. Compassion for the world. You know, Aquarius is always out there trying to be, you know, doing things. Diplomatic. I know sometimes you have used to describe it, and I would agree. Innovative, creative, and probably a day that you're going to get a lot of calls. It's a Sunday, a holiday Sunday. You know, if you go to church or have a barbecue or it's game day. Ooh. Any predictions for the weekend before we move into Monday, the 28th?
Yeah, there'll be it's still a prediction, but I feel like these are like broad enough that somebody can be like, "That was not a prediction. That's bullshit." There'll be some big.
Whoever that voice
whenever
is.
It's Aquarius, it's a curveball. So there's going to, or Uranus, there's going to be a big curveball Sunday heading into the news week. So
what is it?
It's too early yet. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but something's going to shake things up news-wise Sunday night.
What is it?
I don't know. Because right now people say it's a cop-out because I don't know, but
we don't know.
I'll be making a guess.
The Chiefs will win.
I feel like there's too much between now and then to...
The Chiefs will win. There will continue to be volcanoes and earthquakes, absolutely. With the fire and Sagittarius vibes, I'm putting that down on my predictions for probably Thursday and Friday this week. Saturday, Sunday, that air vibe, that diplomatic vibe. I think Biden will announce that he's also going to run. I think that that's going to create a weird, wonky vibe. Excuse me. That's my heart burping and jumping out at the same time at some of the political discussions. Anyway, give me strength. But I also think, you know, some people say that Elon taking over some of the social media and the crazy Balenciaga conspiracy theories and the wild and weird stuff happening and blacklisting and being able to have social media control so that things aren't censored. Wild and weird. It just gets crazy real fast. I think some of that's going to go down this weekend. And, you know, I know some people think it's great to have social media and be able to talk about some of those things. But let's just remember what Earth Magic gives us in silence and why I do live in Minnesota and stay, because it's quiet. And sometimes that's better. And I am very against censorship.
That's why you're an earth fire person and I'm an earth air person. Because as you know, because you're a friend of mine, I have other friends that contact me and they're like, "We know you're a nice guy. You shouldn't be so like." I stir the pot constantly. I put crap out there so that I don't even believe, solely because I know it's just piss people off, and I get entertainment out of seeing people lose their shit.
Well, you and I are the same, where they're like, "What side are you on?" It's like, man, I'm running the concession stand.
Oh, I said that the other day, and it got somebody really mad. I'm like, I'm not on either of your teams. I want the whole thing. I hate both teams so much. I want to see the whole thing burn down. That triggered the shit out of them about how much my life. I'm like, no shit, I know my life.
We don't mean that for real.
Still doesn't mean I like your teams.
Yeah, there's some of that. Well,
so I'll go ahead because it hit me while we're talking here. So I'm just going to go ahead and say I think it's going to be a world leader change, possibly in Europe. A resignation where somebody bounced. I don't even think Eastern Europe. I'm thinking like, you know, another change in England or France. Like there's going to be a world leader change out of the blue Sunday night.
Okay. My cheeks are itching.
My prediction.
We won't say. Okay. Yes. Share it in the chat room. Talk there amongst yourselves.
I'm feeling. Sometimes when I get these feelings though, and then I don't say it, I like tell you later. I'm like, I should have just said it. Like
you should say it.
I'm feeling UK again. As weird as that sounds, because they just had that. Trust was only in there for like 40 days or whatever, but that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Is that part of the world another change?
I don't know. The winds a change.
So look at Western Europe.
It's exciting. I'm excited. Who knows? Who knows for certain? We don't. But I can tell you that looking at the astrology, so one thing happens on Monday, and then like a few other crazy things happen on Tuesday that end the week completely, and we end the show with like, what? To be continued on a cliffhanger, because that's how every week is. That's what I love about astrology. We can look ahead, and you too can look ahead, and we can even do your birth chart if you want. But Monday, so depending on what you think is maybe going to happen for the weekend, Harry's going home.
I was going to say, I don't want to say it for sure, but I mean, that could also include, I hate to even say anything negative, but that could also include something possibly happening to the king.
What? What did you say?
Well, I said a change in leadership, even though it's not the official leadership, it's like a figurehead. It could be on that front too.
Oh.
I hate saying anything like that because I don't want to sound like I'm like wishing like health things on anybody, but it could be on that front too. It could be prime minister, it could be king. I'm thinking a last minute and sudden change somewhere in Western Europe.
I'm going to be meditating on this. We're going to be sharing this online, and don't forget to send us your stuff. Monday. Look at that. Ha! There it is. That's the astrology that kind of validates that, what is going to happen? Alien leaders, said Dolly. They're finally here. Maybe. On Monday, Mars, the sign, the planet of fire and fighting and war, right? The masculine men go to Mars, is in Gemini. And that is trine Saturn and Aquarius. What does it mean?
And Mars is retro, I think. Because Mars should almost change every like 2 months, and Mars is going to be in Gemini for like a year. So we're going to be talking about this a whole lot. But since Gemini is like, I always do that, like which path do I take, or the twins, is kind of that indecision and very verbally communicative, kind of bouncing ideas off other people. But Mars is action, but I almost feel like this is more like talking about what I'm going to do than actually what I'm going to do. And then Saturn and Aquarius is an interesting one because Saturn's all about rules, but Aquarius is kind of thinking outside the box and breaking the rules. So I view that combo as how to change things and shake things up. So I feel this is good synergy towards big discussion, a big profound change or discuss, but it might not actually get executed. There just might be a whole lot of talk about some kind of big change. So could be a lot of fronts, could be related to what happens in Europe that we're saying, could be related to the war in Ukraine, could be related to the new House leadership coming in and saying, we're going to shake everything up by doing A, B, C, and whether they do it or not, who knows, but that'll make big news on Tuesday. Talk about some major change, rule change or something's going to be in the news on Tuesday.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3 things happen.
Oh, that was Monday? Or now we're just getting into
Monday.
Tuesday? Okay, that'll be Monday then.
That was Monday. And so Tuesday. And when some of the words you said there, I think of like the prepping, not executing, foreseeing. It's definitely a certain part of the circle. It's a yin energy that is allowing you to kind of be focusing in and out to get a long view. I don't know. It's an interesting energy. And I can totally see this when I place it with Tuesday. So in context. So let's do that. Tuesday, 3 things happen. And as maybe Dolly is even sharing in the chat room there, it could be talking over fighting. It could be breaking the rules or those different perspectives, kind of forcing or coercion. These are all kind of important spaces. And so Tuesday, these 3 things happen. The first of which, boom, This is the first thing. Now, this is important. Mercury and Sagittarius opposing Mars and Gemini.
So opposite is tension. So if we already talked about the Mars and Gemini, it's talking about kind of things we want to do. That is tension over. This is really interesting. So Mercury is thoughts and communication, and Mars is action, but Gemini is ruled by Mercury, so Gemini is about communication. So this is both a kind of conflict or tension, I think, both on doing things. Trying to see which way I want to go into this, because it's almost, it's like talk and action having tension with action and talk. So I'm still going to say that there's going to be a big debate over what should or shouldn't be done about something. Maybe related to Monday, whatever happens Monday or Sunday night with that change, it's gonna start some big. This is debate energy. This is a big debate over course of action, and I feel it's fairly balanced. So it's gonna be this isn't gonna be like an easy decision. This will be there'll be something up for. Just remember this, because it'll be our show next Tuesday. We'll probably be talking about it then. There'll be some big decision that's being debated.
I really like to play on words of a balanced debate over course of action.
Yeah, I think it's big. I don't think it's like some of this minor stuff that, like, we may talk about. Like, I think there's going to be something big.
Well, I mean, there are pretty big discussions happening right now, pretty big handshakes happening right now that are very relevant to money, cryptocurrency. I mean, money. How going into the holiday, that could really change people. That could change people's lives. It's going to be pretty interesting. One of the things that my intuition is kind of speaking on is, there's a particular author and speaker out there who kind of is on the fringe of psychology, and not to at all in any way be political, but I know recently was on a podcast. I think it was Joe Rogan. And every time that Joe Rogan has anybody, it seems like their book becomes a little bit more expensive on Amazon, which is the only real frustration there. But The War of Art, instead of The Art of War, the book War of Art, the Legend of Bagger Vance author, and Steve P. Steve P. is how my brain organizes him. But I think of War of Art and how that's a play on a debate of action, and resistance is the primary discussion in that book. Like, what is your resistance, and how do you cope with resistance? How do you use resistance? Do you allow it to temper you? I think of that with Mars retrograde. I think of temperament.
I feel this is going to be big, but I don't know if anything's going to actually get done, because it seems to be, to me, more talk than action. So,
dun dun dun. So then what else could be happening on Tuesday? Because don't forget, there's 3 dots that day. Words, not actions. Well, wait. The second thing that's happening. Oh, man. Mercury and Sagittarius.
That gives more insight.
Sextile Saturn and Aquarius.
This is going to be this is all going to be a debate about a big change.
Every time we see Saturn and Aquarius, this is a COVID thing. This is a ban. This is a mandate.
I feel like I know I'm probably going to trigger people here. I feel like the COVID thing is kind of done, except for the people that are really still overly passionate over the COVID thing. Like, I feel like it's not on the public attention span very much anymore, unless you've been deeply affected by it in one way or the other.
Well, what's really weird is that New York and a few other big metropolitan areas, and this is something that I would totally be talking about on my political show if I had the ability and wasn't banned every 2 seconds, is that you have some of these bigger metropolitan areas that were specifically democratic in the ways of telling people when the vaccination movements came and the mandates were enforced that you have to get this mandate or you lose your job. And so a lot of nurses and places like New York City, that waves of people left their job, left the military because of some of this, that are now getting this reinstatement with saying, hey, we are going to be giving you a bonus. We're going to give you back pay. We're going to give you a formal apology and offer you your job back and any severance stuff. And there's kind of been a big shift, but also secretly, I say secretly because what you see kind of being celebrated is while they did that, they also passed things that there's no longer going to be like religious exemptions. There's no longer going to be any exemption for future vaccinations from henceforward. That if you say, well, I'm not going to get that because I'm whatever.
See, here, unless they kept it hush hush, and we have some big hospitals around here. Here, they did massive firings here. It was just you get it or
so
your
did
ass
Minneapolis, the Mayo Clinic,
and we're in a purple state here. Unless it was done behind the scenes, there's been no backtrack on that. Those people that lost their jobs, they are.
This happened. I mean, like yesterday.
Or something now.
This happened like yesterday, maybe even yesterday, today. People in the chat room help me. And some of this, I feel like, what's going to happen on a Tuesday? What's going to happen next Tuesday after the holiday bustle and after the holiday weekend of flights? Ha! 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 What's it going to be? RSV is now blank, blank, blank. What's it going to be? What do you think? What do you think, knowing that Saturn and Aquarius?
I'm not thinking it's any. Like I said, I think
It'll be a social media thing.
I think COVID is rid off into the sunset as the main consciousness. I know there's people that still want to drive it up, but there's people that want to still drive up like Hunter's laptop and Hillary's emails too, and it just doesn't go anywhere. I think it's going to be. There's going to be something proposed. I don't know which side's going to do it. I do think this is going to be a political thing. I do think it's going to be a crisis response. So I have a feeling that whatever the trigger is hasn't happened yet, but I think something is going to happen over the weekend, and that is going to drive some discussion over how we should respond to it. And as always, which I think I was loud in here when I said that I hate both teams, so like I just would like them to just beat each other into a pulp, are going to take opposite sides and bitch and whine about it. And so and then where it lands, I'm gonna hold off till I see what the third thing's gonna be here before I decide how this is gonna play out. But it's gonna be over some rule change. You know, it could be, I hope I'm wrong, but it could be another shooting, and then there's a whole big debate over enough is enough, I'm taking the guns, you know, or something. You know, it could be something
you can't have your toys anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
And I have, like I said, I if I listed the 100 things I'm afraid of, I don't think somebody charging into my front door would make my top 100, but that's me.
Well, the third thing.
I know other people that feel like that would happen immediately and they would die, but
the third thing, and it's kind of a small thing, but not really when you think about how the moon, and if we watch the moon, and every time the moon moves, you're watching what patterns kind of engage. The last thing to happen on Tuesday, as we finish up the show here, is the moon waxing into Pisces. So how do you feel that finishes up the week?
Because it's a moon and it's not, I don't know if this is going to significantly influence the other two, because the moon ones are kind of transitory and not very strong, but that's self-sacrificial. So I almost feel like somebody out of this debate is going to go ahead and do something, sacrifice, you know, whether it's sacrificing them or inadvertently kind of throwing a constituency under the bus. Something's getting sacrificed to move things along.
Get the sheep.
So that could even be, we're debating A.
And that's what the Vikings did.
Somebody in that middle side to make it go one way or the other might say, hey, I'm willing to give up issue B to make this thing move. And so something else gets thrown under the bus.
The night moves across the table.
Look for somebody to make some kind of concession.
Woo! And as Pepper reminds us, and don't forget, the light on that moon is Sagittarius energy. So it is going to be about exploration. It is going to be about expansion. It is the hunter out there reaching, mutant-like, half weird on the bottom, his bow and arrow. Who knows what it will be? This time next week, we will know. We will be time travelers. And if you've written it down tonight, you meditate on it tonight, you ask the universe and chat about it tonight, it'll come to fruition and you will know yourself better this time next week. And you'll bring a friend. Right, Matt?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to put it in the chat room.
We had a really large number of folks on tonight, so I just want to give a huge thank you to everybody.
Yeah, come back
it's
next
live
week,
or
guys.
seeing
Where have
this
you
later.
been?
We had a really nice crowd tonight.
And don't forget, we do private readings, guys. If you want to expand on your birth chart specifically, or troll on someone you know, or give a gift card, you can do that too. Reach out to us and be sure to join us here next Tuesday on Astrology and Alchemy with Paranormal Sarah and Matt Slosier.
And I'll just add, because we even talk about like the big astrology readings. We both do really quick tarot readings too, so you can do a quick tarot one.
You want it? We got that. We can do that.
Off question reading, stuff like that. Just message us.
We sure can. So you guys, be sure and get one. Don't leave yourself hanging, or us. Don't do it. Just get a reading, give yourself a gift, check it out, explore, do the divination thing. And at the very least, we'll see you next week here on the show. Don't forget, check us out on Odyssey, Paranormal Channel, Autumn Moon Astrology, all the places. And bring a friend. For real.
Absolutely. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Good night.